have enough opportunities, that's going to happen. I think it's a game of averages, and if you look at the average of our defense, it's been a really good defense. And it's just like hitting. You're not going to get 18, 19 hits every time you play a game. So I think if you look at our team right now and you look at the averages, I think we've been a good defensive team, and I firmly believe that that we're very capable of putting zeros in the error column. But like I can't predict it. And if it happens, it happens. You just move forward.
Alec White.
There's some Hall of Famers in the MLB that have made quite a few errors and, didn't hit 400, that's for sure.
Coach Ryan just asked about, the freshmen, and I was wondering about when you recruit these, freshmen and, when they're in high school, is part of your recruiting pitch selling them on having these postseason opportunities to make plays like Charlize have been and Janelle have been doing this year?
Oh, I think any program that has a tradition that we have, one of the key factors is when kids decide to come here, they feel like they're going to get a chance to play in postseason. And, we've been fairly successful, I would say, in 32 appearances in postseason. It's nothing to take for granted. But as you get into postseason and you have more success, the bar's raised. And, I think when you come to Arizona, and my expectations are to compete for a national championship. And I think that's part of the recruiting process. And the kids that we bring in obviously feel like that's pretty important to them too. So.
And then focusing on Charlize, she, broke out offensively after having a little bit of a rough end to the season against Oregon, UCLA. What do you think, she did in between those series and then the regional series that allowed her to be successful at the plate?
Well, probably simplified things, quit thinking so damn much, control her eyes, make sure she's swinging at good pitches. I mean, it's a pretty easy solution, but it's really tough to do, we always say, look for a good pitch and put a good swing on it and good things are going to happen. But I promise you, if you played this game, it's not quite that easy. Sometimes you can get a good pitch and put a good swing on it and get no results. And then it becomes a mind game. And so I think for a lot of these kids right now, when they struggle, a lot of times they're trying too hard and probably not controlling the things they have control over. And so the key for us is to be on time and to make sure our eyes are where we want to see a pitch and hit it. And if we can do that, if we're on time and we're swinging at good pitches, then the odds are and the averages are that we're going to be a pretty good hitting team. If we're chasing a lot of pitches out of the zone, you're going to have issues. That's pretty much what history will repeat in our game and in baseball.
Jason Barr.
Yeah, hi, Coach. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You certainly seem like you've got a lot left in your tank, but you got pretty emotional after the regional, and that's after being there 32 times, and based on something somebody wrote in a column beginning of the season, you kind of think, well,
who was that?
Greg's column. He said,
I don't.
It was written.
The good part is I don't read the paper anymore, so.
Well, I'll go out and just ask this direct. Do you plan on coming back next year, and was that why you may have been emotional, or was it just because of COVID and everything that's happened?
No, I was just emotional because of a lot of things. I mean, sitting around and waiting to play this season is not a lot of fun when you're used to that and you're built to prepare. I'm very process oriented and I love practice, and when you don't get to do that for a year, then yeah, it does get emotional when you get a chance to finally play a season. And that was just kind of the culmination of a lot of things, that senior class waiting to finally play their final season. And then anytime you can win a regional in front of your fans, I don't take those for granted, those moments. And I think I've gotten better at maybe celebrating the small moments versus when I was a young kid. When I started coaching here, I was a young kid. I used to think that my life revolved around me winning a national championship, and if I didn't do it, I was a failure. And, when you're coaching, and you're going through the grind every day. You can't define your life and your career on that, or else it's going to be short-lived. And luckily I realized that, there's got to be more to why you're doing what you do every day than just the outcome of winning a national championship. And I know people love to write about that and talk about it as much as I do, but on the other hand, there's a lot of things that go in between that culminate to those moments. And I think many a times I've been a coach that have kind of blown through the small moments. I haven't really sat down and appreciated the victories. I've agonized over the defeats, believe me. I always tell people when I get beat, it feels like I got a wad of gum on my shoe, and it's about 115 degrees outside, and I can't get it off my shoe. And I think any good coach is in the game because they like to compete. And so losing hurts. Winning is great, but on the other hand, you got to look at the big picture. And my job here really is to get these young people ready for life after softball. They're not going to make $1 million playing the game, so my scope is much greater than the game itself. And today I got a chance to sit down and spend 50 minutes with Jenny Dalton, and Jenny was one of our greatest players ever played this game. But I'm more proud of who she is and what she represents, and I think softball was a platform for that. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, yeah, I still have fire in my belly, and I'll make decisions whenever I want to make them. And I may wake up tomorrow and say, that's enough. I know the game has changed, and there's a lot of things I love about the game. I love the game itself, but there's a lot of things outside the game that I really don't care to be involved with, and one is social media, to be honest with you. I think it's going to ruin our world. And I'll give you a good example since you asked the question. But when I first came here in 1985, and I got a chance to work with some very fine journalists, I think, and I'll put Greg Hansen in that category, but Corky Simpson and Jack Rickard and some of the names you guys, I don't know if you even remember those names, but those guys followed us when we were nothing. And we were just trying to climb the mountain. And Steve Rivera, see him right there, And the nice thing about that back then is they were always telling the story. They were always looking for the good things and telling the story about the kids going through the grind and trying to be successful. And just today, I feel like I answer more questions about the drama. People are looking for the reason why you can't do this, why you can't do that. And that's not the way I think. And truthfully, like the question about 2000, whenever it was, we lost the regional, which, goddamn, if you're going to coach, you're going to lose some games. But I don't sit around and think about it because it's 2021. 47 years later, I just damn lucky that I'm able to do what I do. And if I can make an impact in a young kid's life, that's what's important to me. And if a national championship comes our way, believe me, that's what we want. That's what we work for. But you can't live your life based upon that all the time. And I hope that, it's just too easy for people to drop a note about a kid that knows nothing about the kid and just rip their ass about a performance. And that just drives me crazy. And I would love that person to just come look at me face to face. And if they're so damn good, why aren't they coaching? And if they're so damn good, let them get in the damn batter's box and try to hit. But it's the pot shots I hate. I think they're cheap. I'm used to people talking face to face. And if you got an issue with me, then come see me. Don't write it somewhere where you don't have to even be known who you are. And I understand it. I understand the good part of it, but I'm really getting kind of tired of the bad part of it. And for an 18, 19-year-old kid to have to justify from some idiot that doesn't even probably know them to write stuff that is absolutely ridiculous, that's not why I'm going to do what I'm going to do, And you want to take pot shots on me? Great. Come into my office, pick up a phone, call me. Because I promise you, I love talking the game. And if you've got great insight, I'd love to hear it. But on the other hand, we're out here, Monday through Sunday. So some of the decisions we make are not based upon things you read about. It's based upon what you see every day. And so you have to make tough decisions. And I don't mind justifying them, but I really like to justify them again with people that truly understand the game and appreciate the game. And that's allowing me to get on my soapbox today. But anyway, I appreciate what you guys do. These young ladies are pretty special to me. I didn't drive to Phoenix yesterday for 2 hours to watch one of my kids get married because she was a great player. She was a good player, but she's a great person. And part of coaching is being a part of their life, not just for 4 years, but forever. And so those are the stories I like.
And that's going to be all the time we have for. We got to get Coach out to practice. So thank you guys for joining us today. And